Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. We've got Unco going up against Tom, and I know what that sounds like. Upper left-hand corner, Tom starting as the blue Zerg. Bottom left-hand corner, Unco starting as the red Terran. If you're not aware, that that is an insulting term in the United States. Might be in all of North America. Canada might be insulting as well. But I recommend reading the book, actually, because it's an interesting read, despite the slander. As far as the players themselves, this could be an interesting one. I think I favor Unco overall. He's just shown some... Tom's games have been pretty solid. His macro's been good, his micro's been good, but Unco has just been a little bit sharp, I think, and I've liked the troop movements. I particularly liked his defensive play versus... I'm blanking now. Against Rancor, did a great job against Rancor. And he had practice versus Rant, so probably practice versus Zerg going before this match. Brief pause. I'm gonna black screen myself for a few seconds, mostly because I just want to see Twitch chat in the background. But we'll see. Trying to think if Tom went through any Terrans. I think he lost to Nesh in the Swiss bracket, right? But I'm not 100% positive. He is going to go for an Overlord first build. I'm presuming this is going to be an 11 hatchery in the upper left. In the meantime, Unco going for barracks, so not doing anything too crazy. Supply depot to the south. I kind of like this map for TVs. I like this map at large, and I wish we saw more of it. This makes bunkers stronger. It also makes bunker rushes a little bit harder to execute. It makes marine aggression against sunken lines a little bit more challenging. But you can see where piles of Marines can hold these ramps defensively for quite long periods of time. At the same time, Lurkers, if they get into position, have success there. This is one of those interesting maps where I'm trying to think where there was a map like the Heartbreak Ridge, kind of, but not really. But it does feel like the more interior you get, these plateaus, I think, are really the story of it. By the way, first scout here from Tom, top left, he's going to see that spawning pool. And the very fast timing on that on the extractor. But there's very much kind of like a levels thing where you've got the high ground here that can help defend that 12 or aggress against that 12. You've got, looks like the Overlord has gotten scouting information to see that command center underneath as well. Might want to pull back. That's a very deep move for that Overlord from Tom, by the way. Drone gonna draw its way back. But anyway, as I was saying, Drone's scuffling up with that SCV. You get the high ground into low ground, so it just feels like there's kind of... I almost wonder if there's a map where there'd be like one more plateau, and you could just have like the high ground into low ground into mid ground, something along those lines. Layer starting just sub 3 minutes, so it looks like it is going to be a 2-hatch play. I'll get rid of the map vision. I know like the big aspect of knockout is this, but I think that high ground third, I want to see that revisited in future ASL maps, because I feel like this, going into that, this is a really interesting architecture. And I would love to see that actually be a gas base. I mean, granted, and I mean explicitly where you can kind of go from both angles, and it's kind of wider. It's not just like a single ramp, and it's not just like it's not like a polypoid. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. We've already moved into the mid game, and I've just been ranting about the map the entire time and how much I like it. Zerglings going ahead and spreading out. Another SCV trying to draw across. I think Unco pulling the trick where he had another SCV selected, was able to catch the edge of the minerals as his initial SCV died. So it's just going to go on the move and should be able to make its way all the way across. He's gone 2 barracks before Academy. In construction. This feels a little bit of late Academy, and that SCV, cannot be blocked. Has full vision, and we do have that spire to that edge. Unco now going to draw back and see the spire timing. Not that Tom was really going to... I don't think Unco looked at this and thought anything but 2-hatch spire. Certainly speed being invested in, by the way, as well. Chunk of Marines here on the front. I have seen some Terran move out with this chunk, but otherwise... Looks like Unco going to hold them back. I do think that it's wise of Unco to go ahead and ignore clutter on the front because of the gutter. Maybe that's actually bad. Killing a few SCVs to actually open up supply for himself. Interesting. Missed his supply depot, so wanted to make sure he got the 2 medics out. That's actually very important. Stim on the way. Because the longer those medics are delayed, the less energy they've got. At which point, you have fewer stims to work with, and being able to stim at a spread and engage troops, pretty good play. Unca now moving up, gonna go ahead and take out a few Zerglings. He is marching, wants to force some sunken colonies, but we already have 5 Mutalisks constructing. The Firebat, no Firebat constructed. So Unco, I'm not sure if this is tournament nerves or what, missing the counterattack, but we don't have any Sunkens here. So Tom gonna have to flee out of that natural expansion. The Mutalisks under fire as they're spawning. Late, I wonder what caused the late Mutalisks on Tom's part, because usually they're built much more rapidly. Let's see how Tom's micro is as well. Ooh, lost 2 in that attack. That's what I mean by having that stim available, and I think this game now very convincingly just straight up gonna go to Tom. Tom actually dropped, or Tom did have a 3rd hatchery being built in that right-hand corner, but this is over. This is over. +1 weapon's not even finished, even getting concentration fire. Yeah, there's GG. Yikes. Alright, we'll move on to game 2. Sorry I ranted so much about the... Turned into an ugly one. Hopefully I'll pay a little bit more attention. We'll see what happened in the build order to cause the delay of the Mutalisk and everything else. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.